if it was George Zimmerman, okay, for example, if we could, let me just do something else here. Let's go back and let's just compare Zimmerman with Zimmerman, and let's see what that gives us.
So you're talking about speaking
99%.
voice. Okay, so speaking voice compared to speaking voice obviously
Yes.
gives you something. So yelling voice to speaking voice, whoever is the screaming on the tape, what percentage are you coming up with?
Well, it's 48 likelihood ratio for the screaming voice versus Zimmerman. I just wanted to show you that even if we take the screaming voice and compare that, just to, so you know, you have something to compare it with, and you do the comparison here. This is what we come up with, 99%.
Screaming to screaming. So let me ask you a question.
The software,
yeah.
The software is able to delineate the difference between the two voices.
Now, is this something you do in court? I mean, are you brought into a courtroom to do this exact thing with this exact software?
Yeah, I've testified approximately 300 times in 41 different states, and not always on voice identification. But the last voice identification was with this software in Connecticut, State versus Davalu, which was a murder trial, and a 911 call was the focus of the trial.
So you say roughly comes out to 48% likelihood that it would be George Zimmerman. What is the bar in a courtroom? Is it 78%? Is it 99%? Where do you say, for you as the analyzer, that it clearly is not the individual you're trying to match it to? What's the number?
Because what would happen is you would see a green dot, like we saw the green dots when we compared Zimmerman against Zimmerman and the screams against the screams. I don't know if you noticed that, but right here there was a green dot, and it said 99% over here. So if we're comparing Zimmerman versus the screams, then we're getting a likelihood ratio of 48% and a false rejection rate of 12.35% and a false acceptance rate of 14.9%. Those low numbers get translated as it's very unlikely that it is the same person.
So
what the software is telling.
Yeah. What would that number be, though? Let's say, for you to be comfortable to go into a courtroom, what would that number have to be? Would it be in the 70s, in the 80s? What point do you get the green dot that says, yes, we sort of have a match?
Well, you'd have to get over 60% and the green dot. The green dot just delineates the software and the filters that are used in the three set of filters that are used in the software.
Okay, quick final question for you before I let you go. There's no indication at this point that that is or confirmation, I should say, that that's Trayvon Martin's voice, is there?
No, I have nothing to compare it with. If I had something to compare, then I would be able to tell you whether that's Trayvon's voice or not.
Have you reached out to, or would you intend to reach out to Trayvon's family and get an audio clip of him in some way, shape, or form and try to match it?
Well, actually, the public is doing that. I've received a number of emails where people have attempted to reach the family or the police forces as well, or even George Zimmerman. I would be happy to do an exemplar of George Zimmerman.
Okay, as you know, a lot of the conversation that we've had about this 911 call has focused about 2 minutes and 20 seconds in, where I hear a curse and then a racial slur. You know what I'm talking about on this?
On the 911 call?
Yeah, if you go about 2 minutes and 20 seconds in, there's been lots of debate over.
Right.
So have you investigated that at all? What does your analysis say of what that is? Can you clarify that so people can hear and decide, yes, in fact, that is what I think it is, or that it's not what I think it is?
I could certainly clarify that, but I've not been asked to do that.
So if I asked you to do that, would you do that?
It's Zimmerman or not. I very well may do that.
How long does it take? Like hours or weeks?
It would take me at least a day or two.
Okay, you know, I'd be hugely interested in that, and if you can clarify that and tell me that it is what I think it is, or it's not what I think it is, I'd be very interested in knowing what forensic analysis says those words are. Mr. Tom Owen is a forensic consultant from Owen Forensic Services. Yes, sir. Was there a final word you want to say before I let you go?
Yes, I'll be happy to do that, and maybe I'll see you again.
I think Wednesday is what you've promised me. Thank you, sir. Appreciate your time. I'm doing my own forensic analysis on what you just said, which is he's confirmed for Tuesday or Wednesday morning with us. Thank you, Mr. Owen. Appreciate your time this morning.